So it finished in St Petersburg, Chelsea 3, Zenit 3, a late equaliser. Thank you to Matt Davies-Adams and Pat Nevin for talking us through the action. Let's get the hashtag straight in then, because it kind of sums up the game end to end. It was literally that, wasn't it? You know, Chelsea started immensely well. Zenit finished immensely well. Kind of everything in between just happened in this.
Yeah, we saw the reaction that we wanted in terms of the intensity, us being in their half the whole time. We created quite a few chances. Werner was brilliant, but then just a screamer last minute. There's nothing you can do about that. You could maybe say the defensive header could have been better. Maybe Reece James, if he was used to playing in centre midfield, he would have been in that position. But that's nitpicking. I don't think we played terribly, but yeah, they scored a screamer. We got a point.
It happens, doesn't it? You know, football, it happens sometimes like that. And from an offensive point of view, again, a lot of positives to be taken. Timo Werner, 2 goals and assists, brilliant. Defensively, I'm sure there's some question marks that Thomas Tuchel wants, because whenever you concede 3, there's going to be, you know, investigations and looking into that sort of stuff. I thought Kepa was sensational in goal.
Absolutely.
And it's usually quite strange to say that when a goalkeeper's conceded 3, but I thought it was phenomenal. There were individual performances during the game today that definitely stand out. Yeah,
I mean, like you say, Kepa absolutely has to get some love. Pulled off a couple of absolute worldy saves. I thought Pulisic made a bit of an impact when he came on as well, created a couple of good chances. Havertz always seems to like link up the play, makes it more fluid, doesn't he, in attack, so he was brilliant. Werner, really happy for him, because I think as fans we love him, don't we? Because his work rate, he's always putting in 110%, getting in the right positions, isn't always lucky enough to actually score. So the fact that he's got 2 goals today and an assist, yeah, just made up for him, really.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's do the game on social then, starting with a lot of confusion before kick-off on who's playing where, what's going on, what formation. Sal left wing-back, Joe left wing-back or right wing-back, Reece right wing-back or midfield. Excellent use of the Roy Keane pitch there. Excellent use of that one. It's a very fair point, and beforehand we did not know. We really did not know. Me trying to figure out who's playing where. But again, you know, we made the point before the game, Sam, but that fluidity and that versatility within the squad, that's positive, because there are enough teams that go through the season, they have to find answers to questions that they didn't preempt or anticipate. And I suppose to a certain extent, Chelsea have done that tonight. Yeah, and Tuchel tried a few things that we haven't seen before, but I don't think he's going to be completely upset. We mentioned the goals that we conceded, but that's not necessarily down to those areas like right wing back, left wing back, and in the middle. You can say maybe if they were used to those positions, maybe we wouldn't have conceded some of the goals, Barkley turning, James for the 3rd goal. But at the same time, I think he'll be quite happy in the sense that they just adjusted quite quickly. They reacted after we went down, and yeah, we looked like we were going to get the win, and then just screamer, man. Oh, it's a great goal, and it really is. Yeah. We started very well, in fact, because Chelsea's fastest ever Champions League goal. Oh, really? Started with Timo Werner. Werner has always been a good player. He just needs confidence. He's up and banging goals. It's very true, Victor. I think every Chelsea fan has said that word for word, really. Like Timo Werner on the score sheet. Love to see it, you know, the love and adulation, not just for Timo from the fans, but from players alike as well. When he scores, it shows how much of a positive and a big character is in the squad. Lukaku dropping deep, Werner standing up front. That's what we wanted. He will score goals this way. Well, you know, he did, Abby. Yeah. That's exactly how he started. You know, you want your centre forwards playing the width for the 18-yard box sometimes and sniffing out chances and just being on the end of things and being in the right place at the right time. And Timo has that ability. We know he does, and he deserved his goal to start. Yeah, he always causes defence problems, doesn't he? And it was really nice to see him linking up with Lukaku. We've not really got to see that. And if that's the start of it, then that's going to be something amazing going forward in this competition and also in the Premier League as well. Absolutely right. That link-up doesn't get a huge amount of minutes because sometimes the system doesn't dictate that, sometimes it doesn't allow that, but also, you know, the injuries that we've seen through both Timo and Romelu has kind of stuttered that relationship starting. But you know, these are 2 players that are world class on their day, you know, so you're going to get a good chemistry, a good link up, and the more we see that, the more fluid and natural that will be. Yeah, and I think it's good because there's a lot of defenders focus so much on Lukaku when he's playing, so Werner has that freedom to run in behind, and we saw when he fed Lukaku there was that space, and then suddenly Lukaku's, because he's that type of striker, he's bombing on in that position. We kind of thought it was offside, but he made sure that he stayed on and he got the goal. And I think you're definitely going to see that more this season, because the type of player that Lukaku's kind of formed into now, he likes dropping deep. You can tell that he likes feeling the defender and setting it back and then Werner on the run. It's almost like automatic, but the more you see it, I think we're just going to keep scoring goals that way. Completely agree. We also saw a new role for Reece James today, didn't we, on his 22nd birthday. So this is our knee-jerk reaction. Reece James can play anywhere, and he literally can, Abby. I mean, wherever he plays, he looks so assured, doesn't he? He looks so comfortable. He just looks... He's inevitable. Funny how James can go play midfield and still be one of the best players on the pitch. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bang on sound.
Mentality is just incredible, isn't it? He's so self-assured. I probably could play in goal. I'm joking. I'd rate him.
So now we've seen him play centre midfield. He's played centre half in the FA Cup final last year. He plays right wing back. Played left wing back a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And in fairness, when he's playing right wing back, he's pretty much playing as a right winger. Like he's playing a right. He's so good technically, physically. He's clever. He's intelligent on the ball. He's one of those players, and it's such a cliche, and I do hate using it, but he's just better when he's in the team. Doesn't matter what position he's playing, but Chelsea are better when Reece James is on the pitch. Oh,
absolutely. One of the first names on the team sheet at the moment. Just absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that he can play anywhere, he can do anything. I feel like I've run out of just amazing things to say about Reece James. And, you know, the fact that it's his birthday today, he's still only 22 as well. So he's, like, not even fully in his peak yet. So, goodness gracious me, once he gets to his peak, I think there'll be teams that are pretty frightened to play against him.
Yeah.
There are a few players as well that will be as experienced as Reece at 22. You know, he played in Champions League final, and again, you know, he kept Raheem Sterling quiet, who we saw how good he was in the Euros for England. We know how good Raheem Sterling is. You know, he's got that ability wherever he plays. One-on-one matchups, he can do different roles, he can do different jobs. Today he was sort of doing almost the Jorginho role, wasn't he? And keeping things tight, keeping things clever, just keeping the ball ticking over, moving, and like that tweet said, being the general in the middle of the park. So the maturity, he doesn't look like a 22-year-old when he's playing football, and that's probably the biggest compliment you can pay him.
Yeah, and it's because he's got so much experience. He's so young, but he has got experience, like you said, playing in multiple positions. And I think Tuchel's seen that he's calm and composed, and he's probably one of the only players that I can see get so much power from standing, like just from a standing point. Some of the passes that he was giving players in that game was just like, I would not be able to get that much power in those passes just standing. So yeah, I think he's shown that he's quality, and he's shown that he can adapt to multiple different situations. We thought that he might come off when Barkley came off, but it shows that Tuchel genuinely trusts him, and like you said, we're much better when he's in the team. Absolutely right.
Obviously quite a quick turnaround just before the half-time whistle, and Zenit took the lead. Zenit are back in it as a header from Claudinho levels the game in the 1 in St Petersburg. Really bad marking defending by Chelsea there. That's from Juan. And also this one as well. Zenit picking Chelsea apart, putting up some show against defending champs. Could have been 3 or 4 goals up easily. I think the point, you know, the point they're making there is in terms that Chelsea perhaps weren't at their best first half, but we've seen periods in that game. I think that tweet's probably a little bit harsh. Chelsea could have been 2 or 3 up. You know, you think of the Saul chance early on, you think of the Mason Mount chance early on, the Werner goal could quite conceivably been 3-0 before they get that opportunity. So, but I think the point is fair in terms of games like this swing on little moments, don't they? And then if you're not in it or you're not on it, then you can find yourself at the wrong end of a result very, very quickly.
I think also it's just because our standards are higher. You know, we're Chelsea Football Club. We don't concede many goals at all. So the fact that we conceded, you know, a few tonight, we're gonna be harsh on the players because we always want the very best. But as you say, games like this, tiny margins, and that chance at the end, nobody's stopping that. You know, it's just one of those, isn't it? It's football.
Exactly right. We did see, you know, that Lukaku and Werner link up today, which social media has been loving. Getting Lukaku, that goal was all Timo Werner. Yes. Yeah, lovely little square there. Really good call from Matt. Lukaku and Werner goals, I will take that. Absolutely true. You know, it will be a more common occurrence when we see them both in the lineup together. But that goal, I was so desperate to see Werner and Lukaku linking up. Let's go. We've been so desperate to see that, and this certainly won't be the last time we see Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku linking up and both being on the score sheet in the same game. That partnership is pending.
Yeah, and you almost want that to, like the fans, you want them to see that chemistry building and them getting a bit more confident playing together, because Werner, we've seen that he can score goals. Lukaku, they can score goals. If they're in their prime together for Chelsea, it's just going to be a dream for us. We're just going to see multiple goals, and we've seen this season there's so many other players that want to get involved as well. So if they're banging, then we can win everything.
Absolutely right. And we like we alluded to earlier, it was always going to be difficult. whether you finish first or second in your group. I mean, at the moment, you know, you play Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico Madrid, Sporting. These are all the second-place teams. And the first-place team, you've got Ajax, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, potentially Lille. So that you're going to have tough games whoever you draw in the next round.
Yeah.
So regardless, you have to beat the best teams to be in this competition. And the more games that we see Lukaku and Werner playing together, the deeper you go in competitions like this, because that is a partnership that in this competition certainly there'll be teams that come up against nothing of the like in their league and domestic seasons.
Yeah, it's just a partnership I think we're just going to see blossom, aren't we? And hopefully we'll see plenty of it in this competition and also in the Premier League as well. And like you were saying, the fact that we came second in the group, you're always going to play big teams. It's the Champions League, you know. Let's not beat ourselves up about it. Let's, you know, keep it moving. Absolutely,
and you know, and ultimately, obviously, everyone wants to win the group. Of course, you do. You want to give yourself the best opportunity of going deep. But like Abby said, you have to play the big teams. You know, we got to the final last year playing Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. You know, two of the best teams in Europe. And then you get to the final, you play Man City, arguably, other than us, the best team in Europe. You're going to have to play the big teams regardless. The draw's on Monday. Games like tonight, like we said, managers don't like them, because you want to win every game comfortably, you want to breeze for them. But maybe Thomas Tuchel will learn more about his team, his shape, and the way that we can set up going forward. He'll learn little bits from tonight that perhaps you don't win if you breeze tonight 3 or 4.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he's tried a few new things. You know, Saul playing left wing back, that's another option going forward. We've seen, like you said, the Champions League, you play against the best teams. I don't necessarily buy into all of the hype of first, second. Obviously, you want to bragging rights, and it's good to win games, but at the same time, it's the Champions League. We've seen, like today, Zenit, they scored 3 goals against us. We haven't seen that this season. So the fact is, this Champions League, anything can happen. So going into the draw, let's just see who we go against. I'm still going to be confident.
Absolutely right. And obviously, back to Premier League matters at the weekend, Abby. Do you see Reece James in the middle of the park at the weekend?
I mean, possibly. Also, I genuinely think there's a bit of an argument for Kepa to start. Genuinely, because I thought he was so brilliant today. Like I always say, I'm so glad I'm not Thomas Tuchel, because selection headaches once again.
Always.
Well, Kepa's a great point, because we know he's going to play a huge part when Edouard Mendy goes to the African Cup of Nations in January. You know, Hakim Ziyech is another one that's going to be leading the squad as well for that period. When you've got such a good goalkeeper like Kepa, a performance like tonight will only aid those questions earlier on before Mendy goes, because, like Abby said, he was sensational tonight, and arguably, you know, even though he's conceded 3, it could have been 4 or 5, 5 or 6, a couple of sensational saves.
Yeah, and that's only going to help his confidence, and you can see how passionate he is when he concedes goals, and he's just like, come on guys, like help me out a little bit. But also when he's on the ball, he's set pieces, he's passing out is very good. We know that already. But one of those saves from the header, it was basically already in when he saved it. So that's just going to build his confidence, and the fact that Tuchel's given him the opportunity to play in the Champions League, and he knows that his time is going to come up. He's just going to hope that, you know, he's going to have that same energy, and the defenders, you know, going to like work with him a bit more.
Absolutely right. And, you know, back to league, like we said, back to league dealings at the weekend. Leeds, then Everton, then Wolves, and then Brentford in the Carabao Cup, all to play before Christmas Day. So it's stacked up. There's a lot of football. There's a lot of football. But the fact that, you know, we know there are a lot of players now that, you know, minutes in the bank are so important. Romelu Lukaku getting 75 minutes today, Timo Werner getting 90. You know, even Mason Mount to an extent hasn't had a huge amount of football since the international break, really. So that progression, that building, especially when we are, you know, still in the midst of a pandemic and things can flare up and cause a problem, whatever. It's important you've got players that are ready to go and ready to play football.
Yeah, like you say, the fact that we've got Romelu and Timo back fit now and they've got minutes under the belt is so important. We played so many games, didn't we, without really like out-and-out strikers. So to kind of have them back is absolutely huge. Mason Mount back to his best after all the kind of wisdom teeth drama. So, yeah, I think we're in a good position. It's obviously a packed schedule, but it's nice to have some really key players back.
Yeah, absolutely right. Plenty coming up on the 5th stand-up this week, of course, we alluded to. Friday afternoon, it all kicks off. Thomas Tuchel speaking to the press ahead of Saturday's home game against Leeds United in the Premier League. Join us for Matchday Live at 5-2 for that one. And then, on Sunday, an early start in the FA Youth Cup third round. Chelsea host fellow London club Leyton Orient. So, yeah, join us for that one as well. Should be a good game. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Both of you brilliant as always. Thank you very much. Not the result we wanted, of course, but the big result matters in 171 days in that very venue, and that's when we're going to be lifting it aloft. Come on, you Blues, we go again Saturday.